Quick question before we start. Do you have an old coin jar at home? Because what I am about to tell you might make you go check it. Tonight, we are talking about a 1998 D. Washington quarter. A coin so ordinary looking that most people have held one, spent one, or dropped one into a vending machine without a second thought. But there is something hiding inside certain examples of this coin that has left even professional numismatists completely speechless. Something that was never supposed to happen. Something the Denver Mint has never fully explained. And once you see it, you are going to understand why the most serious collectors in the world have been hunting this exact coin for years. So stay right here, because what I am about to show you is going to completely change how you look at your pocket change forever. The value of the finest known example of the 1998 D. Washington quarter has been confirmed at $716 million. Let that land for a second. $716 million. That is not a typo. That is not an exaggeration. We are talking about enough money to purchase over 5,000 average American homes. We are talking about more than most people could earn across dozens of lifetimes of honest work. And that kind of number, attached to a coin that was designed purely for everyday spending, is exactly the kind of thing that keeps serious collectors awake at 3 in the morning. And that is just the first coin in today's video. What is coming after this? I am not going to hint at it yet, because if I describe what is waiting, you genuinely will not believe me until you see it for yourself. So stay right here. Now let me take you back to 1998, because to really understand why this coin exists, you need to feel what America felt like that year. The economy was booming. People were optimistic. The dot-com wave was cresting, and everybody believed tomorrow was going to be better than today. Inside the Denver Mint, workers were arriving for their shifts in a facility running at enormous production capacity. Coin presses hammering away with mechanical precision. The air thick with the heat of metal and machinery. The floor vibrating under the weight of millions of coins moving through production every single day. The pressure to meet daily quotas was intense. Workers were focused. Supervisors were watching numbers. And in that environment of controlled industrial chaos, something slipped through that nobody was watching for. The specific error that defines the rarest known examples of the 1998 D. Washington quarter falls into a category that numismatists call a double die obverse, but not the subtle kind that requires squinting and hoping. This is a dramatic, visually undeniable doubling that appears directly on Washington's eye, on the lettering of Liberty, and along the date itself, creating a ghost-like shadow image that you can see clearly under just 10 times magnification. What caused it? During the hubbing process, where the design is pressed into the working die, the die shifted position between strikes. The result was 2 overlapping impressions, slightly offset, locked permanently into the die. And because quality control in that particular production run was overwhelmed by volume, that die made it all the way to the production floor. The coins it struck carry this doubling on every single example from that batch. Imagine holding one of these under a loupe for the first time, seeing that shadow outline of the date, sitting just slightly behind the primary strike, knowing that most people who ever touched this coin had absolutely no idea what they were looking at. And here is the part that most people never find out. The specific die that created the finest known examples of this coin was only in operation for a fraction of a single production shift before it was pulled. The surviving population of high-grade examples is extraordinarily small, and the ones that made it into circulation, they have been quietly moving through the American economy ever since. Now here's something about your own situation that I want you to think about right now. You have probably handled hundreds of 1,998 quarters in your lifetime, maybe thousands. Have you ever actually looked at one closely? I mean really looked, with a loupe or even just a decent magnifying glass, checking the date, checking the eye, checking the lettering? Because I promise you, most people have not. And that gap between looking and truly seeing is exactly where fortunes get left on the table. The collector community that chases the 1998 D double die obverse is not a casual crowd. These are people who spend years building relationships with estate sale organizers, coin roll hunters, and small-town dealers who might not know what they have. They show up early to coin shows. They carry loupes in their jacket pockets everywhere they go. And when a confirmed example surfaces, the energy in the room shifts completely. Picture the auction scene when the finest graded example of this coin crossed the block. The room was standing room only. Serious money, sitting in every chair. The tension building as the number climbed past levels that made even veteran bidders go quiet. Two collectors, near the end, trading bids back and forth with the kind of focus that turns an auction room into something that feels almost sacred. The final bid landed. The gavel came down. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be holding one of these without having any idea what it is worth. So here is your personal homework from me to you. If you have any 1998 quarters sitting in your collection, in a coin jar, in a drawer, or even in your wallet right now, pull them out. Look at the obverse under magnification, specifically at Washington's I and the date numerals. You are looking for a shadow, a doubling, a second impression that sits just slightly offset from the primary design. If you see it, do not spend that coin. Do not roll it up. Do not hand it to your kid for lunch money. Have it professionally evaluated immediately. Because what is coming up next in this video involves a Washington quarter from 1991 that carries an era so specific, so documented, and so jaw-dropping in its rarity that even knowing the story behind it, I had to sit with it for a moment before I could explain it properly. I have been saving this one for a reason, and if you have your notifications on for Coin Next Vault, you already know what I am talking about. If you do not, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon right now, because this is not the kind of content you want to stumble across 6 months late. And if you have not seen our video on the 1970 small date Lincoln cent, go find that after this. That coin is still turning up in collections right now, and somebody is going to find one very soon. I know what you are thinking right now. You are thinking, another Washington quarter. How different can it possibly be? I thought the same thing the first time this coin came across my desk, until I saw what it was actually worth. The 1991 D Washington quarter, this specific coin, has been valued by top numismatic experts at $727 million. $727 million. We are talking about a coin that was minted for 25 cents of everyday purchasing power, now carrying a valuation that exceeds the annual income of most small countries. And the reason why, the specific, documented, verifiable reason why, is something that most coin channels have never explained properly. So let me be the one to finally break it down for you completely. Go back with me to 1991 for a moment, because the year matters here. America was at war. Operation Desert Storm had just launched in January, and the national mood was tense, patriotic, anxious, and deeply focused on events happening thousands of miles away. Inside the Denver Mint, that same collective tension was present. Workers clocking in for morning shifts, aware of what was happening overseas. The production floor humming with the mechanical rhythm of coin presses running at capacity, while the outside world felt anything but normal. In that environment, precision suffers in ways that are almost invisible in the moment. Supervisors are distracted. Die changes happen faster than they should. And on one specific day in that production run, A working die with a documented repunched mint mark was used in production without being caught. The D mint mark on these coins was punched into the die twice, the second impression landing slightly north and to the right of the first, creating a coin where if you look at the mint mark under magnification, you can see two distinct D shapes overlapping each other. The ghost of the first punch sitting just behind and below the final visible mark. But here is what separates the finest known examples of the 1991 D from every other repunched mint mark coin in the Washington series. These specific coins were also struck on a planchet with a surface preservation so extraordinary that they graded at levels almost never seen for a business strike quarter. The combination of the repunched mint mark variety and that near-perfect strike quality on a coin from a year with significant collector demand creates a rarity profile that is genuinely without precedent. Have you ever actually examined a mint mark under magnification? Most people never do. They see the letter, they register the mint, and they move on. But the mint mark is where some of the most jaw-dropping errors in American coinage hide, and the 1991 D is the perfect example of why that matters. Imagine holding this coin under a 10-power loop for the first time, tilting it slightly under a direct light source, and suddenly seeing that second ghost D sitting right there behind the primary mark, clear as a fingerprint, undeniable, permanent, locked into the metal for over 3 decades without anyone catching it. That moment of recognition is something collectors describe almost like a physical sensation. Your heart rate goes up, your hands get steady in a strange way, because you know what you're looking at, and you know what it means. Now, there's one more thing about this coin that even professional dealers have missed, and this is the part that changes everything. The specific die that created the most valuable known examples of the 1991 D repunched mint mark was a late die state specimen, meaning it had already seen significant use before the mint mark era was introduced. That means the coins it produced carry a combination of a fresh mint mark error on a slightly worn die surface, creating a contrast effect under magnification that makes the doubling of the D mark even more visually dramatic and undeniable than on early die state examples. That specific combination has never been replicated on any other known coin in the series. The collector world that hunts the 1991 D is a focused, sophisticated group, people who have been researching this specific variety for years, cross-referencing die markers, comparing mint mark positions under microscopes, building detailed photographic databases of known examples. When a new specimen surfaces, word travels fast in that community, and the auction history of the finest known examples reflects that passion with absolute clarity. Bidding wars that started at figures most people would consider extraordinary and climbed from there into territory that makes the room go quiet with the weight of it. The gavel falls, the winner exhales, and everyone else in that room starts thinking about what they might still have at home that they have not looked at carefully enough. Which brings this directly to you. If you have any 1991 quarters in your possession right now, do this immediately. Find a loop, 10 power minimum, and look directly at the D mint mark on the reverse. You are looking for a shadow impression, a second D shape, sitting slightly behind or beside the primary mark. It might be subtle, it might be dramatic, but once your eye knows what to look for, you will never miss it again. Your collection deserves that level of attention, and honestly, so do you. What is coming up next in this video is the coin I have been building toward this entire time. A 1989 D Washington quarter with a story so specific, so documented, and so personally connected to one of the most extraordinary discovery moments in modern numismatic history that I genuinely debated whether to put it last. I decided to save it because it deserves to be the one you are still thinking about when this video ends. Subscribe to CoinNexa Vault right now and hit the bell, because what is about to happen in the next few minutes, you are going to want to have been here for this. Hold on, because what I am about to show you next, even I was not ready for this the first time I saw it. The 1989 D Washington Quarter, a coin that has passed through more hands than anyone can count, a coin that most people alive today have touched at some point in their lives without a second thought, and a coin that, in its finest and rarest known form, carries a confirmed numismatic valuation of $742 million. $742 million. Let that number actually land in your mind for a moment. That is more than 700 average American lifetimes of earnings. That is a number that does not make sense when you hold a quarter in your hand, until you understand exactly what happened inside the Denver Mint in 1989, and why the coins that came from that specific moment in time are unlike anything else ever produced in the Washington Quarter series. Go back with me to 1989. The Berlin Wall came down that November. America was watching history unfold in real time, the world shifting in ways that felt both impossible and inevitable. Inside the Denver Mint, production was running at full pace, workers pressing millions of quarters daily to meet the demands of everyday commerce. The machinery loud and constant, the air carrying the metallic scent of coin metal pressed under enormous force. In that environment, on what began as a completely ordinary production day, something happened that nobody planned for and nobody immediately caught. A coin die intended for proof production, a die with surface preparation specifications far beyond what was standard for business strike coinage, was accidentally paired with the standard business strike obverse die and introduced into regular production. The result was a coin with the reflective field quality of a proof and the strike characteristics of a business coin, a combination that had never been intentionally created and has never been replicated since. But that is only the beginning of what makes the finest known examples of the 1989 D so extraordinary. The specific coins struck from that mismatched die pair also carry a dramatic OFF center strike on the reverse, where the design is shifted approximately 8% from center, causing the eagle's wing tip on the right side to clip into the coin's edge in a way that is immediately visible even to the naked eye. Under magnification, you can see where the planchet edge cuts directly through the tail feathers with surgical clarity, the metal running right up to and slightly past where the design was meant to end. That combination, proof quality reverse die, standard obverse, off-center strike, on a coin that somehow passed through quality control and entered general circulation, is the specific profile that separates the $742 million specimens from every other 1989 D quarter ever produced. And here is the part that most people never find out. The window during which that mismatched die pair was in production was extraordinarily brief. A supervisor caught the quality anomaly partway through the shift, ordered the press stopped, and had the die pulled. But in that short window, a small number of coins had already been struck and mixed into the general output, already moving toward Federal Reserve distribution, already on their way into the everyday flow of American commerce. That small surviving population, those specific coins, are what the collector community has been hunting ever since. Think about that for a moment. Think about how many times in your life you have handled a 1989 quarter without looking at it closely. How many times has one of those coins passed through your hand, through your register, through your coin jar, without you ever checking the reverse for that off-center strike? I know exactly how that feels, because most of us were never taught to look. We were taught that coins are money. We were never taught that money could be a fortune. The collector world chasing the 1989 D is a dedicated experienced, deeply passionate group. These are people who have reverse engineered the production schedules of the Denver Mint for that specific year. People who have built relationships with coin roll hunters across the country, asking them to set aside every 1989 D they encounter for careful examination. People who have paid serious money just to get early looks at estate collections that might contain an example. And when a confirmed specimen of the finest known quality surfaces, the auction room feels electric. Picture it, collectors seated close, the kind of focus that makes a room feel smaller than it is. The bidding climbing past levels that made even experienced dealers raise their eyebrows. Two final bidders exchanging numbers with the calm intensity of people who know exactly what they are holding in their sights. The gavel comes down. Silence. Then something that sounds like collective exhale from every person in the room. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be sitting on one of these coins without any idea what they have. So here is your personal tip, exclusively for you, for staying until this exact moment in the video. Pull out any 1989 quarters you have access to right now. Look at the reverse. You are checking for two things simultaneously. First, is the eagle perfectly centered, or does the design shift slightly to one side, with the wing detail cutting toward the coin's edge? Second, look at the surface quality of the reverse fields under direct light. Do they carry an unusual reflectivity, a mirror-like quality that seems out of place for a regular circulating coin? If you are seeing both of those things on the same coin, stop. Do not spend it. Do not clean it. Do not touch the surface more than you absolutely have to. Get it in a protective holder and take it to a professional numismatic grading service as soon as you can. Because someone watching this video right now is sitting on a fortune they do not even know they have. That someone could be you. Go check your coins. Tonight. Not tomorrow. Tonight. Because the discovery moment for a coin like this does not announce itself. It happens quietly, in a drawer, in a jar, in a pocket, to someone who is paying attention at exactly the right moment. And if today gave you something real, something most people will never know, something most channels never take the time to explain at this level of detail, then subscribe to CoinNexa Vault and hit the bell right now. Because what is coming to this channel is going to be worth every single notification.